How does the live view ruin your shots? Hi, I'm Jay. I'm going to share with you 4 reasons why I prefer to use the viewfinder over the live view when I'm taking pictures. To begin with, I still take pictures using the live view from time to time. One is if I have to shoot low on the ground and I don't want to go down because maybe the street is muddy or wet. What I'll have to do is tilt the back LCD of my camera so that I can and use the live view so I can still compose my shot even without crouching down on the floor. Or another is when I have to shoot high above and I don't have anything to stand on. So how can I see through the viewfinder? Well, with the back LCD tilted, I can still compose my shot in the live view mode. Another is when I'm shooting products or food in the studio, and it would be an inconvenience if my client has to look through the viewfinder and would tell me, oh, I have to change this, I have to change that, and how would I know if there are plenty of objects in the frame? So a live view feed would be more convenient and easy to point out what we are talking about and we're in the same page, especially if I can connect or if I will connect the camera to an external monitor like a television. There are two types of viewfinder. One is the optical viewfinder, which you can find in DSLRs or digital single lens reflex. So basically, when you look through the eyepiece, you're looking at the pentaprism, which projects an image which is gathered from the light reflected by the mirror inside the camera body. The other is the electronic viewfinder. So basically, it's a small version of the LCD outside, just located inside the rectangular tunnel. But this one, of course, the electronic viewfinder still use battery power. When you're shooting in live view, the back LCD of course consume battery juice and that shortens the battery time. With the electronic viewfinder, although it uses battery power, it won't take up as much juice compared to the external LCD. With the DSLR, it's even better because when you use the viewfinder, it doesn't require more power because you're basically using the pentaprism and the mirror. Now, when you turn on the back LCD for live view, that's the time it will consume more battery power and therefore will shorten the battery time when you're taking pictures. More often, the battery dies out on you when you least need that to happen. And when you're changing batteries, of course, what if there's something dramatic or decisive happening? So your downtime could make you miss that moment. Reason number 2, I prefer using the viewfinder because if you shoot in live view, especially with DSLR cameras, there is that lag or the camera response seems to be slower and it might just be a fraction of a second, but what if you're shooting an action? You might miss that most important moment. So listen to this when I'm shooting in the live view mode. Okay. Now, if I'm going to turn off the live view and just pretend I'm shooting with just the viewfinder, see? Notice that the sound is faster. Why? Because in the live view mode, the shutter curtain is already open. And when you press the shutter button, that shutter curtain has to close and the shutter curtain has to open once more to take the picture. So that extra movement costs you time that could make or break your photograph. Reason number 3. Remember when you're shooting outdoors, especially under bright sunlight, or even if it's cloudy and you're using your mobile phone, it's hard to see what's on the screen, right? Well, it's the same with your DSLR or even mirrorless camera and you're shooting in live view or you're basically relying on the back LCD of your camera. The surroundings or the bright sky could reflect on the screen and therefore it will be difficult for you to see what you're shooting at, especially if you are basing your exposure settings on how the image looks like in the LCD. But if you're shooting using the viewfinder, the external light is prevented from reaching the smaller LCD inside so you can better assess how your settings will be. And with the DSLR camera, of course, the pentaprism is inside, protected from the external light source. It's easier for you to see what you're composing. And reason number 4, and for me this is the most important, when you shoot using the viewfinder, you are forcibly removed from your surroundings. And that means you tend to focus more on the details on what you see inside your frame, which you could have easily missed when you're shooting with the external LCD or the back LCD in the live view mode. Though the screen here is bigger, it doesn't mean you're actually seeing the details. Details that could make or break your photograph, like maybe a stray hair on the cheek of your subject, or an unwanted person in the background, or a wrong placement of an item in your composition. That's why shooting using the viewfinder forces you to concentrate more on your composition and other details that's important for your shoot. And those are the 4 reasons why I prefer to shoot using the viewfinder over the live view. So if you like this video, please click like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Mabuhay!